Sooner or later, every developer working with Git is going to run into merge conflicts. I'm going to show you a few of my favorite tools and workflows for dealing with merge conflicts and getting past them. I like to work with a program called filemerge on the Mac. Most of you probably have Xcode installed, so if I go over to my Finder and show package contents on the Xcode application, jump into contents, and go to applications, there's this little program here called filemerge. If I go to the program filemerge, you can see that I can pick a left and a right file and compare them and save the difference. So that's actually the tool that we're going to use when a conflict arises inside of Git. I'm going to show you how you can do that real quick. So if I go over to my Git config file, and then if I jump down to the merge section, you can see that there's this group called Mergetool. And I like to live on the edge. I don't keep a backup, but you can actually keep a backup of all the merging that happens. And then under the merge section, my tool is called OpenDiff. So if I go over here to the command line and type in man OpenDiff, and just be aware this is a Mac only thing. So OpenDiff uses filemerge to graphically compare and merge files or directories. So that's exactly what we're going to go through. Okay, so I'm going to quit out of this. You'll notice that I've created a little project here and pushed it up to a remote repository. And this folder is actually using the master branch. If I jump up a level, I'll show you. I've created the Git repo and cloned it under Mergetool Demo. And then I've cloned it again under Mergetool Demo 2. And inside of Mergetool Demo 2, we're going to work on a branch and then try to merge in master, and I'll show you how to resolve conflicts. Okay, so if I go into Mergetool Demo, if I type in git log, you'll notice that I've made a commit. This is a sample Laravel project. I've added a hello route. So if I jump over to the actual code, you can see that I've created a hello closure route. And over here in this branch under Mergetool Demo 2, I don't have any code yet. We're going to create a commit and a conflict, and then we'll merge it. Okay, so I'm just going to come back over here to the command line, and I'm going to push up master and just make sure that I've pushed my latest changes, and it looks like I didn't push that change, so that's good. That would have been really confusing on the other end. Okay, so I'm going to come over into Mergetool Demo 2, and I'm going to type git checkout branch, and I'm just going to say feature hello. Alright, so if I type in git log, you'll notice that I just have the first commit. I created this branch with only the first commit in master. I haven't gotten the latest master, which I normally would do if I'm starting a new branch, but just so I can demonstrate this to you, I left what I had. All right, so if I type in git fetch origin, you could see that origin master was updated. So if I type in git log origin master, there's my route. All right, so let's actually come back over here to Mergetool Demo 2, and we're just going to copy this, but we're going to change it a little bit to create the conflict. So instead of a closure, we're going to use like a string for doing a controller. So I'm going to have a hello controller index, and in here, I'll just do a git status, git commit, add controller route. Okay. So let's just pretend that I'm ready to merge in master. Normally you do this through a pull request on GitHub or Bitbucket or whatever tool that you're using. I'm just going to try to merge master. You noticed earlier I did a git fetch origin. So now if I actually just try to do a git merge origin master, I should get a conflict. All right, cool. So if I do a git status, you'll notice that both were modified. Let's actually just go back into Sublime just so you can see what it looks like. So normally, if you're just using your editor to deal with these conflicts, I do this sometimes. When it's like a simple conflict, I'm going to show you how I do it with filemerge, but you could also just jump into here. I actually like to use this method if it's a more complicated conflict, because sometimes the visual tool just doesn't give you the same granularity of control. It's easier just to come in here and manually work the text. You can see how you could deal with this. You could just realize, oh, they created a hello route and, resolve this conflict. But let's actually just go back over to the command line. If you remember, let's go back here so you can see this again. So if I go down here, we're going to use this OpenDiff tool. Okay. So how I interface with this is if I do a git status again, you'll notice that this is the conflicted file. So if I type in git merge tool. This should bring up file merge. All right, so you can see over here that the remote is from the upstream master, and when I try to merge it in, this is what it's saying. Git wants to pick this by default. So if I want to, I can jump this over by using the arrow keys. I can go left or right. I can actually come down here to the drop down and I can choose neither. I can even pick, I want left first, and then, so I want both. And so you can see the actual merge at the bottom here is what actually is the result of the changes that you make. So we could just add these two routes, and I can even come down here and add a comment. So let's say that we have resolved the conflict and we've merged the right line. I'm just going to actually go back up here and I'm going to pick choose right. And if you can imagine, if there are more conflicts in this file, you can use the down arrow to jump to those conflicts. So at this point, I'm going to pick this route from master, and I'm just going to ditch the route that I had. If I hit Command S, you can see that it's saved it up here. So if I hit Command W and then Q, it's saying, was the merge successful? Well, it didn't change, so it's not thinking that it was successful. So I'm going to say yes. So if I do git status now, git diff cached, you can see that it is removing my line and it's actually picking the line from master. So at this point, if I do a git commit, I don't really have to do anything. It will automatically create a message for me, merge remote tracking branch origin master into feature hello. So if I hit right quit, now if I type in git log, you can see that this merge conflict has been dealt with. And now I can actually just git checkout master. I'm going to do a git merge, no fast forward, and I'm going to pick my feature, and it's going to say, it's going to basically no fast forward is creating a merge commit. So if I do git push origin master, okay, so now we're all up to date. I'm going to show you a rebase as well. So let's go back to my original here, and let's actually update it. So if I do a git, because you realize I was changing on merge tool demo 2, so I need to get the latest. Just make sure that this is the latest. All right, so I have my merge commit up there. I'm going to go back to the code base, and I don't know. Let's just, let's use like name. So we'll do a request name and then the default of world. And down here, let's just okay, so I'm just going to do a diff here. All right, and I'm using a shortcut here. I like to alias everything. So this is a little bit shorter for me. I'm just going to update hello route. Usually my messages are a little more useful than this, but just since this isn't the important part of the demo, I'm just using dumb messages. Okay, so if I do a git push origin master, it's going to push up the latest. Over here, I'm going to not pull anything, and I'm just going to get checkout feature hello 2. So I can, whoops, if I hit -B because I want to check out a new branch. And now I'm just going to do some stuff that will actually create conflicts on both lines. Let's just do a couple here. Just so you can kind of see what this will look like. So if I do a git status, git commit, I'm going to add this file. So let's say that I'm using the rebase. I'm using rebase to just clean up my branch against master. So if I do a git fetch origin master, now if I type in git rebase origin master, it's going to try to rebase on top of it. So what'll happen with rebase is it'll replay your work on top of master, and at the first conflict it stops. So you can see here that it stopped, and there's a merge conflict in the routes web folder. If I type in git status here, you'll notice again that both of these are modified. And now I have a little bit bigger of a diff here. So let's jump into Git Mergetool and see what happens. So you can kind of see here what's nice about filemerge is it'll use this blue area to just show you some spacing, and then the actual parts that changed on this line. So let's just pick ours this time, and then I'm going to hit Command W to write, and then Q to quit filemerge. So now I'm going to do a git rebase continue, and it's applied hello. So if I do a git log now, you can see that it's applied this add hello that I added. Let's go over to the codes. You can see that it's just picked mine. Let's quickly go back over my git config so you can see the settings that I'm using in this video. So if I jump to merge, you can see that Mergetool has a keep backup setting. I've been using this a long time, so I'm pretty comfortable, but if you don't feel comfortable, you can keep a backup. And under merge, I use OpenDiff, which will open up filemerge on the Mac. There might be other options on Linux and Windows that you can use. If you're on the Mac, OpenDiff comes bundled with Xcode, and most likely you have Xcode installed if you're developing on the Mac. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.